Hey guys, welcome to the... Jesus, I need a haircut. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to discuss a topic that a lot of people wanted me to talk about, which is water fasting. For the people that don't know, water fasting, I'm actually going to look at the camera now. Water fasting is when you just consume water, so you don't have any food or supplements or anything like that. You're just drinking water for a period of time. I have utilized this in the past, whether it was coming up for like a competition in the past, whether it was for the health benefits, because there are health benefits to water fasting. These include autophagy, so the renewal of cells in the body, reduced inflammation. When you eat any food, your body will react to that and inflammation will be caused. So water fasting is beneficial if you have injuries and things like that for a period of time. But let's be realistic, most people want to know about water fasting for the weight loss kind of thing. So I have used it before for weight loss as well, but you have to be realistic because a lot of the water you're going to lose, a lot of the weight you will lose will be water. Bloody hell. I need a trim. I know the beard is all out of the, got the whole neck beard going on and the hair is just ridiculous right now, but difficult times. Some people aren't taking some regulations as seriously, some are, but I'm looking after my parents, so I'm being extra careful and not putting anyone at risk. So, you know what, I don't know why Apple Watches, they come up with the whole breathe. Who needs to be reminded to breathe? I know when to, I'm breathing. Anyway, so let's get into details. So today is day one of my water fast. I've done it in the past, although it's a period of time because obviously I haven't been training with weights and things. I have got a back injury, which I'm now resting, and I'm not going to the gym at the moment because of certain regulations. So I'm just walking. Walking is one of my favorite exercises. I got to remember to look at the camera. Walking, not water. No sugar in the brain. One of my favorite exercises. I am looking at you, and it's because there's no recovery time for walking. You can walk for hours and hours and hours, and it does burn relatively a lot of calories. An hour of walking is going to burn more calories than, say, training arms. You can walk for 3-4 hours in the day, if you have the time to, or if you're eager to do the exercise. If you have an injury and you're able to walk, and you don't have to wait the next day to recover. Whereas when you do a leg day, the pain. It's also something you don't really necessarily need that much space to do. You can walk in the garden if you wanted to. I know it seems a bit silly walking up and down, but what I do is I put on a podcast or I call a friend. Now, this is my biggest tip. Best way to distract yourself when you're walking and you say you want to do an hour of walking. A lot of people put their earphones in and they listen to music. The best way to distract yourself is call someone you enjoy having a conversation with. To talk about business, to talk about your relationship, talk about whatever it is. Call a friend. I tell you now, this is like, it's just so simple, but it works so well. Before you know it, an hour's passed. If it's a friend or someone you enjoy talking to, family member, talk about your daily events, about money, about whatever you want. Before you know it, the time has passed. I can do 7,000-8,000 steps, which is 4 miles of walking, just calling a friend and having a conversation, and some people will keep you entertained, tell stories, whatever it is, I'm now combining walking as my cardio with water fasting. Today is day one, so far so good. It's not that difficult, to be honest. It's hot. You don't really want to eat food when you're boiling hot. And I've done my walk today. I think I've done probably about 8,000-9,000 steps, and I'm tracking how much I'm burning with my watch. Now, bear in mind, any type of these watches, Apple, Fitbit, whatever, they're not going to give you an exact reading of how much you're burning. Yes, they know your weight and how many steps you take, and they convert that into calories, but you got to bear in mind that these are just estimates. They're not the actual thing. So you got to take the values with a pinch of salt. But they are a good way of building that approximate knowledge of how much am I burning. So if you walk for an hour and a half and it says you've burnt 500 calories, you could have burnt 700, you could have burnt 300, depending on how your body works, your metabolic rate, what you've eaten, your age. A lot of these things are factors, and these watches or your phone, it won't give you an exact, I don't know what this is. This is Persian parents when they try and tell you something. I tell you 2 weeks ago, I told you clean the room. Why didn't? Anyway, I'm going off topic. So when it comes to water fasting, if you haven't done it before, I would suggest that a couple of days before you actually start your day one water fast, you just do juice fasting. So do 2 to 3 days of using a NutriBullet or whatever it is you want to use, and putting fruit in there, watermelon, fruits that are high in water, so cucumber, watermelon, things like that, melon, strawberries, and just do that for a few days. Let your body adapt to not eating solid foods and doing a bit of a juice cleanse. I remember the first time I did a water fast, the thing you got to look out for is the headaches. Now, in the second to third day of water fasting, you will get headaches. It's just normal. It's just the body not having food, not used to it, not having carbohydrates, not used to it, and you will feel a bit lethargic. But that's the wall. The same way runners have a wall, lifters have a wall. It is a wall. You need to get past that wall, and then you're fine. It's 2, 3, 4th day, second, third, fourth day. This is another problem. You need to be able to focus. But once you get past that, it's honestly fine. Social media can be a bit of an annoying thing when you're water fasting, because all of your friends and all the people you follow are going to be eating their nice food they made at home or in restaurants, and when you're watching it, all around me are familiar faces. Jealous. But you got to remember, you're doing this for a reason. So you either want to lose weight, or because for health reasons, or you want to reduce inflammation in the body. And there's a lot of benefits to water fasting. Now, I've got to stress this. My personal reason for doing water fasting is because it teaches me true starvation. And this is something I've worked on over the years. Now, during COVID, obviously, there's been no gyms and, I've not been training per se. But true starvation is something that I really think most people need to go through. What it is sometimes you feel peckish and you'll go and eat nuts and whatever it is and high calorie foods, high calorie dense foods, and put on loads of weight, and you won't know why, because it could be a hobby. You come home from work, you've eaten your dinner. It could be like not a hobby, a habit. Bloody water. It could be a habit. It's a habit. So you need to break that habit. When you understand true starvation, or true hunger, I should say, it's when you then understand what it is to actually be hungry. When you haven't eaten for 7, 8, 9 hours and you actually feel hungry, your stomach is churning and your body is like, oh, feed me, feed me, feed me. That's when you eat. But if you're someone who's trying to lose weight, or you're cutting or whatever you want to call it, and you're not used to that feeling, that's a feeling that's really important. It's really vital to understand what it is when you're actually hungry, and not just a habit of, oh, it's 9 o'clock, I'm going to have biscuits and cookies and crisps and all of that. I'd also suggest that you do this in a time period where you're not working, where you don't have big responsibilities, so that you can focus on not eating, on getting the task done. I find it really beneficial to do a water fast if you're looking to also drop water. Say if you've got a photo shoot, if you've got a big day coming up, such as like a wedding day or something like that, and you want to look leaner, you want to look more vascular for a bodybuilder, or if you just want to drop some weight quickly, then it's beneficial. This is not something to do long term for long term weight loss. I have to stress this. If you're trying to lose weight long term, then the simple thing is calories in versus calories out. If you want to lose weight that you can easily keep off or maintain, then you need to work out your BMR, basal metabolic rate, which I'll do another video on, and you need to work out how much you eat. Now, if you want to be very particular, realistically, you need to weigh your food. If that's not an option for you, or you want something simpler, then reading the packets or reading what you're looking at. Okay, this sandwich has 400 calories. I'm gonna bear that in mind. I've eaten that, plus I've had 2 eggs and I don't know, 2 slices of toast for breakfast. That's around this figure, and you need to just bear that in mind, because if you're burning at a steady state, your BMR is say 2,000 calories and you're eating 4,000 calories, then it's obvious why you're putting on fat. So as a long-term weight loss method, water fasting is not for you. This is something if you want to kickstart your diet, which I always do. Whenever I start a cut, I like to do this to kickstart it, because if I'm, for example, trying to drop weight and I've got 30 pounds to drop to get to my target weight, I do a water fast. I drop say 5 pounds of fat and 3 pounds of water. Then when I start my normal diet, my normal cut of reduced calories, then I may put on the water back on, but I've already lost 5 pounds of fat. I've kind of kick-started the diet. Warm up. The same warm up you would do in the gym, like 10 minutes of stretching and 10 minutes of some cardio, warm up the blood, warm up the muscles. For me, water fasting is a form of kick-starting the diet. And I've found really, really good benefits from it. The common questions, which are, can I drink Diet Coke? Can I drink non-sugar based drinks and things like that? Because a lot of people that know about water fasting know the whole target is to not spike your insulin, is to not spike your sugar levels in your bloods and things like that. And the simple answer is no. The whole point of a water fast is a fast. You are depriving your body of food. Now, although you might think, Diet Coke, for example, is not food, and there's no sugar in it, so how can it spike? But there's still things in it. There's still products in it that make it taste like Diet Coke. Otherwise, it would be water. So, for me, the whole point of a water fast is to learn about true starvation, learn about controlling your habits, controlling the food you eat, and to also teach yourself self-restraint. So when it comes to 9 o'clock, if you want a biscuit, after a water fast, you may be strong enough to say, well, instead of a biscuit, I'm going to have an apple. I'm going to have a bowl of strawberries. I'm going to have something that's beneficial to me. I really, really want to get a haircut. I really, really want my beard trimmed, but it's not possible. I've got one of those noses that looks good there, does not look good there. I don't really get it. One side. I don't know. If you're living on your own, you will find this a lot easier than if you're living with people that cook food in the house. Because when it comes to dinner time in a Persian household and your mum makes your favourite chicken and rice or anything that you enjoy eating, you will struggle. It is hard. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want to sit here and say, it's all bells and whistles. Is that the right way to say that? It's all bells and whistles? I don't have any energy. But, if you get through it a couple of days, it gets easier. And, I'm going to show you how much weight I lose off this. Bear in mind, a lot of it will be water, but you still do lose fat and weight loss and things like that, okay? And weight loss? You still lose weight loss? You still lose weight. You still lose fat, not just water. That's what. Okay, everyone, so day 1 of water fasting. Someone's opened the door. Day 1 of water fasting. I'll let you know daily how I'm getting on. Any questions, you feel free to message me on Instagram, Hercules Fits.